Hello everyone and welcome to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am still working on my Jelly Roll Irish Chain quilt. I'm already working on it. I'm just coming with you guys and chit-chatting, and we're going to sew and chit-chat today. How about that? Currently, I am watching the weather. It is Thursday evening, and I am watching for, what is it? Helene or Helen or whatever they're calling this storm, the hurricane. We are keeping an eye out for that storm. Now, Louisiana is not going to be affected by it, but we are watching the storm. As of the time I left work, it had not made landfall yet. I do keep up with it, not because, well, I do have a brother that lives in South Carolina, close to Myrtle Beach. I think he's about an hour west of Myrtle Beach. I doubt they get any storm surges because they're an hour inland. But we are watching that. We are continuing to watch all of that. And I have a friend that lives in North Carolina. So I don't think it's going to, well, they were saying as far north as Raleigh, North Carolina. So we're just watching for them, guys, and just trying to make sure everybody is safe. And if you are in the path of the storm, please take precautions. Today, while I was at work, we kind of keep track of it at work, even though it's not going to hit us. But I heard something that a local sheriff's office was telling people in this community that if they ignored the mandatory evacuation, that they were requesting for them to write their name, birth date, and address, or something like that. Name and birth date, I'm pretty certain of, on their arms in permanent marker, because they were saying they weren't going to make it. Is that not scary? I mean, you know, they're not going to send out emergency workers in this because everyone did have enough time to know to get out. And there's another, I don't know if she's YouTube or TikTok, but I see a lot of her reels come across. She's Dr. Beach something, and I watch her. She's a nurse. She has a couple kids, I think, married, and lives in Big Bend. And she's already been pulled on like emergency protocol or whatever they call it. So she's at work at the hospital, and her children and I believe her husband are at her parents' house, which is not in the path of anything, not in a flood zone. And they've already had movers go move all of their belongings to storage. I think this is just amazing because, you know, we get tornadoes here. And while I was watching today, they were having tornado warnings. At one point, I think they had 7 at a time. On the east side of a hurricane is your biggest threat for a tornado. And I think they had some, like, north of Florida. And if y'all want to watch what I watch, We tune in to Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube. It's Ryan, R-Y-A-N, Hall, H-A-L-L, y'all, Y-A-W-L-L. Not Y-A-W, Y-A-L-L. Ryan Hall, y'all. And he gives a very, very thorough watch whether very good. He's got a huge team. I think most of them are volunteers that do this, which, I mean, some of them now, they may get paid because his channel has gotten pretty big. But I'm going to tell y'all, anytime we have a storm, that's where I go, because even if I'm not able to get it on my TV, I can get it on my cell phone. And I just feel safer, you know, watching that. Because he will literally pinpoint down to the road where rotation is. If there's a tornado. And that's mainly what we deal with here is tornadoes. But enough about the weather, guys. My nose is itching today, so... I'm trying to give you guys about an hour of quilt time here, or sewing time, because I have got to can or put away some. I've got to do it today because my sister and I are going out of town this weekend, and y'all will be seeing this video on Sunday, so we're already back by the time you see this. But I don't want to leave my peppers all weekend not done. Even though I'm not going to have the bottles that I want to put them in. I'm just making pepper sauce, which I've got to see how I can make this. Because I've never made pepper sauce, but I know I'm going to do it in a bottle and not in like a mason jar. But everything, the recipe that I have shows just stuffing your jars with your peppers and then pouring your brine over, your warm brine over your peppers. So what I may have to do if I have, well, you know, I have these water bottles and I may have some corks. Well, not really corks. They're wine bottle stoppers. I may have some wine bottle stoppers. If I do, man, it's been forever. I don't even know how good they are. But I have not been able to find bottles, so I had to order them on Amazon, and they're supposed to be here, I think, Friday when I'm not here. They're supposed to come in. So I'm thinking maybe what I may do, I'll see what the possibility of this is, of going on and just putting them in mason jars, and then, or ball, or whatever, car. Since they're, I don't know if I have to water bath them or not. I don't think I do making a pepper sauce. I can't remember what the recipe said. But if I have to, I'll put them, they'll have to be water bath canned if that is the case. But I have some jars that my husband, he thought he was doing so good, and he got those little Golden Harvest jars from the Dollar General. Well, y'all know the Golden Harvest jars, you can't pressure can in those. You can only water bath can in those. So, I can water bath can in those, but my plan is to go through my refrigerator before we head out and clean everything out. Anything that's got sugar or sweetness to it, I'm going to get rid of it because we don't eat that anymore. Well, guys, I was just talking about how I'm going to can and clean out my fridge and all that stuff. And my daughter showed up, and so I sent her home with some stuff out of my fridge. But her baby is being put on regular milk. He's just about old enough, and he's not getting enough formula. And she's just like, she can't afford that formula. It's kind of expensive. So I had a carton of A2 milk here, and we're fixing to be, I'm about to be gone all weekend, and so I just told her to come get that. No sense in us trying to, keep it here if I'm not going to be here. But they found out when he was an infant baby that he's lactose intolerant. But I had that A2 milk, and I just told her to come get that and try him on that, because he's been on whole milk today, and she sent him with several outfits to the babysitter, and he's messed all of his outfits up today. So she brought him over here to see me with just a diaper on. She was like, he done messed all of his clothes up for the day, and I think she sends him with 3 extra outfits, and he done messed all of his outfits up today. So I told her to try him on that A2 milk. Now, I mean, it's like $6 for half a gallon for one of them little paper cartons, half a gallon. But I told her if that was out of her budget, if he could drink it, let me know. He could probably drink goat milk, which the A2 milk is really the closest to like breast milk anyway, so I don't think he'll have a problem with it. And I know it's going to take him a couple days to get over the tummy issue now. But my goodness, I'm telling y'all, he is trying to walk. That baby, he can get his hands on something and hold it in his hands and stand up with it in his hands. He's just a little afraid to let go if he's thinking about it. Guys, I think we're probably in about 30 minutes right now. And I am still not even on my 9 patches yet. I'm still doing the 6 patches. I'm trying to find some that don't have the green in it, because the centerpiece of what I'm doing right now has green in it. So what I'm trying to do is find a strip that don't have green on as the main color. And yeah, while my daughter was here, we were watching the storm stuff again. Y'all, that is some serious stuff. It is already now a category 4. So that is no joke. Category 4's definitely a no joke. But I hope y'all are getting some sewing done this weekend. As I said before, when y'all see this, I'm probably already, I'll probably be on my way back home. My sister and I we normally take a trip every year together. And this year, we just, we had a lot of things going on that messed with our budget. She had gotten ill back in December. The same day she ended up in the hospital was the same day my grandson was born. Well, the day I found out she was in the hospital was the same day my grandson was born, and the same day that we lost our uncle. And So that, you know, that's been 9 months ago. Just a little over 9 months. And so, you know, that's kind of... And she told me, she says, the day after we leave, because she has her hospital bill, her for a heart patient, a hospital bill is normally pretty rough. She was born with a heart defect. But she ended up in the hospital the same time everything else was going on. And she told me the other day that she'd be making her last hospital payment. And I mean, she has insurance and everything. It's just, insurance don't cover everything anymore. Even if you got a copay, it don't cover everything anymore. It's just ridiculous. If we go to our local hospital here, my insurance will cover the hospital, but the emergency room, and it'll cover the emergency room, but the doctors, it don't cover. It don't. So why would I go in a hospital if it ain't going to cover, you know, if I don't have doctors that's paid? But the doctors at our local hospital are contract workers out of Texas, I think it's where it is. And I think that's just absolutely insane. A hospital should hire their own doctors. But I guess they do that because there may be like malpractice insurance or something, and they're trying to lessen their liabilities. I don't know, but my thing is, if a doctor knows that they could be gone the next day, pulled to another location, it's not how it used to be. Healthcare is definitely not how it used to be. But, you know, I can remember when I was little, we never went to the doctor. I mean, not even for wellness checks. We went to the health unit for our vaccines. And we never went to the doctor. Unless it was something really, really bad, you know. Or we'd been sick for days. Now, my sister did. She had to. She had specialists, so she had to go. But I don't know if I need all of these pieces. I didn't read to see. Oh, it says, refer to this to the large throw. I needed 61 of strip unit B and 122 for strip unit A. I don't know if I got that many. I hope so. I don't think I do, though. Who knows? I probably do and just don't. I hope I do. They're saying from each strip unit, I should be able to get 16, I think is what it says. We're going to hope that I got that many. Because I'm just going to keep sewing these until I have none left. And if that's too many, then I will just take them apart. You know, if I need more of the one with the two colors and the one white, I'll just take them apart. But I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to get these nested sewn. And hopefully, before the end of this video, I will be making 9 patches. Hopefully. That's our goal, is to start making some 9 patches. I have my 6 patches. And that's only 2 more strips away, but I do have to press them. I am going to count out 61 strip sets just to make sure I have enough. I should, because if I don't, I'm in trouble. Because I don't have any more strips, I don't think. I may have some extras. I forgot I did. I think I did have about half a roll of jelly roll strips that I had left. Now imagine if you wanted to, you could take all of the lighter colored strips and do this with, but there's not enough lighter color strips to do this in this roll. Okay, this is my last strip set, and what I will do is trim these apart. Once I trim them apart, I'll count them to make sure I have 61. And once I do that, I will bring you guys back because that's going to take a little while. Oh, I will have to press as well. Okay, so that is all of my center strips that I had. So I'm going to cut these apart. And hopefully, I'm looking at us in about 45 minutes already. I'm hoping maybe I can get this done fairly quick, and I'll bring you guys right back. Okay, so I have counted them, and it looks like I do have 7 extra one of these. So I'm debating on not pressing and just press at the end. I think that's what I'm going to do. Get all of my blocks back over here, and let's see. We're going to make sure that this is our center one. If it's a white, a color, and then a white. So we want to make sure on these that have the black in the center that we don't do a black on the outer thing. And we're trying to make sure not to use the same strip. And if we do use the same colors, even if it's not the same design, we're going to make sure they alternate. Like this one here, they do have both pinks and both blues, but it's different patterns. So I'm probably going to give you guys about another 15 minutes here, because that will carry me over my hour sewing time that I have set for myself. I do like for you guys to have a little bit longer video for our sew-alongs. This will be a sew-along that we will work on probably another... I'm just now getting started on the 9 patches, so probably another 1 or 2 sessions. Who knows? There's no rush for it. We're just going to sit down and sew and enjoy. You know, we're just going to make sure that we're not overdoing it. It looks like I'm trying not to use the same color combinations on all of them. Just because you want a little variety there. But I do have a new sew-along coming along probably next weekend. It's just according to if I can get my tester tested, and I think I may need to get a background for it. I'm not real sure. That's why my testers are so important, to test a pattern to see if the fabrics that I have will work. But I love the pattern that I'm going to be testing. I know I'm going to do it, and I'm pretty certain I'm going to do it with the line of fabric that I have. And this is still a Smash the Stash. So all of my sew-alongs are going to be Smash the Stash. This as well is a Smash the Stash. This Country Rose Jelly Roll. I couldn't think what it was called there for a second. This Country Rose Jelly Roll is one that has been in my stash for a little while. And the white, I just have bolts. Well, I'm down to one bolt now. I did have 2 bolts of white. I think this is called Cloud. I don't know. It's a Kona. It's a Kona cotton. It's called Kona cotton. I'm not sure which color it is, but it's white. I don't remember if it's called Cloud White or what, but it's white. It's Kona cotton. It could be called Basic White or something like that. I don't remember. And I may be about to buy a few more bolts, and I know I missed Missouri Star Quilt Company. They had their bolt sale for like $55 a piece, and I know I could have got a code somewhere and used it and gotten more off, but I didn't, and that's okay. They'll always have them go back on sale, so I don't worry about that too much. I do have some other things coming down the pike. I'm not really gonna talk about them yet. Let's see, I'm trying to think of the things that I do have coming down the pike that y'all may be interested in. Tammy with the Siberian Wind. We will be doing a sew-along with the pattern called Land That I Love out of Celebrate with Quilts by, I think is it Lissa or Alexander and Susan H. So I'll have that. I will have Tammy's channel down in the description because that is where we will be doing it at. We will be going live on Thursday nights in November. That does not start until November. So if you're interested, I will have a link for the book. If you do not have the book and would like to get it, I will have a link for the book down in the description, as well as Tammy's channel's link. And guys, I haven't looked today to see where Tammy is at on her subscribers, but she is getting so close to her 500 subscribers. 1 second and let me check and I'll tell you. Okay guys, as of Thursday night, she has 456 subscribers. She does some phenomenal work on her channel. Y'all should really check her out. Subscribe to her. She does a lot of lives, but you are always able to go in and watch them as replays. Her lives are fabulous. There's so much chatting in the live. It is so much fun. We always have fun in her lives, and she's sewing the whole time in her lives. And she tells you what she is doing. Sometimes she is testing a pattern out for another creator, another pattern creator. And, you know, those she cannot give out things. And I think she comes up with patterns herself. She does some commissioned work. So she all the time has some beautiful stuff. So go check her out, check her channel out. And actually, it being Thursday, I think she has a live tonight. I hope she does, because I love catching her Thursday night lives, and those are the ones that I will be joining her with, is on Thursday nights, doing Land That I Love. We're going to do it, I think, like a block a night, you know. It's kind of like a block of the month, but it's going to be a block a night. And she's doing, her quilt is a Quilt of Valor, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do with my quilt is I am probably going to donate my quilt to a veteran that has I don't know if it's a foundation or what exactly it is, but he helps raise money for veterans. He helps. Right now, I think they are doing, it's called 7 Days for the Troops. And the gentleman that does this 7 Day for the Troops is out of Tupelo, Mississippi. His name is Scott Burns. And he was a veteran. He is a double amputee. He lost both of his legs due to an injury sustained in service, active duty. And he came home and let that be a determining factor for him, because he had been stateside, for years before he opted to have his legs amputated, because he was in so much pain and had undergone so many surgeries. And I know him personally. I went to school with him in elementary school. We were really good friends in elementary school. And he and I actually, he used to DJ, and we caught back up with one another. He had a DJing job, and he and I ran into one another and just had a very nice visit. He's got an amazing wife, a daughter, Hannah, and 2 boys. I can remember Jace. I can't remember the second one's name. His wife's name, I think, is Emily. Emily is his wife's name. She's a school teacher, I believe. So, I mean, they're just your typical, everyday, normal family and trying to make a difference in the world. And I think he's doing a fabulous job. He does so much for the, veterans. And y'all know my son is also a veteran now. He is now out of service. He did serve overseas. He didn't serve a full year. He was deployed when his little baby girl was 3 months old. And he served, let's see, where the Ukraine. He served just south of the Ukraine border in Romania, I think is where he was. Even though he was not in an active zone, it does not make a mother feel good to have her baby child. He's my baby child, my only son, and he was that far away. I know he's married and has his own baby, his own family, but he will always be my baby. And anyone that has children will know that. When your child, even though your child is grown, they still your baby. He's still my baby. And every time I see him, I had to hug him up and give him a kiss on the cheek, just like I did when he was a little bitty thing. He's still my baby. But we're very thankful that my son did not sustain any physical injuries. I think he is having a tough time acclimating back into civilian life. And just the fact that he was separated from his baby, that's the whole reason why he got out of service. He didn't want to do anymore. He has an 8-year term, and he served 4 active, and he'll be 4 in the reserves. So I think it has affected him because he can't quite figure out how to reacclimate back into society. And I can imagine it probably is pretty difficult because, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, they tell you what to do, when to do, how to do, and the whole 9. And, that's like some serious scheduling, and he does really well with that. My son was diagnosed when he was actually not not a small child. He was almost a teenager when he was diagnosed ADHD. And I fought that diagnosis for so long. And we did find out a lot of his problem was dietary. We took all the red dyes and things like that. If you look up, if anyone is interested, I was one of those mamas that I wasn't going to accept that. I figured I didn't have to drug my child, that I could. Now, I'm not saying all cases are like this. He was just one of the cases that was. If you look up autism diet, autism and ADHD kind of run hand in hand, really close. He's OCD, ADHD. His dad is OCD. His dad has Tourette's. His dad's Tourette's was like later. I'm not going to say later in life, but he really didn't have extreme signs of it until actually after our divorce. So he has a lot of trouble with change. So I dare say if he was actually tested for like autism, he'd be like on a high functioning level autistic. Because he's very scheduled, very OCD is, he took OCD to the next level. I mean, to the extent things had to be categorized, food in the cabinet had to be categorized, turned a certain direction, things had to be folded a certain way. And you know, I mean, that's just how it was. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. But, you know, so that's what my son had genetically. But we did find that if we put him on the autism diet, during the summer, we could have him on the autism diet. Everything would go great. His behavior would straighten out. His energy would pick up. His handwriting. You don't think about this. His handwriting was just amazing if we had him on the autism diet. Now, you're probably wondering what the autism diet is. You limit sugar, you limit red dyes, but you're limiting a lot of things that you shouldn't have anyway. Processed foods. He couldn't have a lot of processed foods. Caffeine. We had to be very careful with caffeine. Game time. Like, we had to control the amount of time he had on video games. Because, y'all, I'm telling you, video games, that's just like a snap, 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 snap for an ADHD child. It does what the brain is already trying to do all the time anyway. So, we had to do a lot of that. And I know, I'm sitting here thinking, how did I get on that? But talking about my son, you know, trying to reintegrate into civilian lifestyle here. And when I talked to my daughter-in-law last night, I just kind of asked her how he was doing. You know, I know he's still looking for a job. He is working with 2 recruiters, and he technically has a job waiting on him, but they have to find someone to take this other position before they can hire him in the one that he's qualified for. And I told him, I said, well, why don't you just offer them, send me to training. You know, you pay for training. You don't have to pay me. Pay for training, pay my meals and all that. Pay all of that. Train me how to do this. and I'll take that position. But I don't know. He, I'm trying to help him, the best that I can. But sometimes as a parent, you just have to step back and let them do what they need to do. So guys, let's see. We have talked about everything today, haven't we? We have talked about weather and if any of you are in Florida or in the eastern states, I hope you are safe. This is so scary. I mean, I told you my daughter, she came over and we were watching, and they were showing stuff in North Carolina already, and South Carolina. Charleston had flooding in the streets already. If that's where it was. I think that's where it was. He was talking about Charleston, and they were showing pictures of flooded roads. I'm hoping it was Charleston, because if not, I'm misspeaking, and I don't want to make anyone fear. But it's a lot of rain coming down, and a lot of stuff. We never liked this, and when I was watching, they actually had 4 tornado warnings going out. So, once again, like I said, when y'all see this, it will be Sunday. And all of this will be over with. And we will know what the aftermath of the hurricane is. But I am hoping everyone is safe, because this is a bad storm. A very bad one. I think it had already gotten up to a category 4 when I'm certain it's because that's what he said it was. It was a category 4. But guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you coming and checking out and sewing along with me. If you're not sewing a jelly roll or an Irish chain or a jelly roll Irish chain, that is perfectly fine. I hope I've given you some fun chit chat and some fun things to look at. I'm going to have some new things coming along. I'm trying to think when they're going to be coming along in the next couple months. So y'all just stay tuned. Click that thumbs up button if you haven't yet, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this type of content. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. And guys, y'all stay safe. Goodbye.